So I've had the new Seiko 5 Sports for a couple of weeks now, and I just wanted to make a few observations, mostly about the Seiko 5 brand itself, and a few thoughts about the watch as well. Before we start though, today I'm wearing my Christopher Ward C65 Trident Diver. I absolutely love this watch. I find it very stylish and very, very versatile. Not to mention its build quality. But anyway, back to the Seiko 5. So the 5 line was first introduced in 1963, and according to Seiko, it's supposed to have 5 key attributes, hence the number 5. You're supposed to have a self-winding automatic movement, a day-date display at 3 o'clock, water resistance, which tends to be a sore point, particularly with this model, recessed crown at the 4 o'clock position, and a case and bracelet built for durability. This line constitutes, or this new line rather, constitutes a reintroduction of the 5 brand, and I think this is long overdue from Seiko. Those of us who previously perused the Seiko website know that the Seiko 5 brand was nowhere to be seen, and now it takes its place proudly amongst the Prospects and the Presage line, for example. For this particular model, the case dimensions are a width of 42.5 millimeters, a lug to lug of 46, and a thickness of 13.4. The case itself is identical to that of an SKX, and it has exactly the same dimensions, exactly the same shape and design features. And I think that has generated a lot of confusion when it comes to this particular model and the reintroduction of the 5 line. And it has given this watch a case of mixed identity, I think. It must be stressed that this is not a replacement for the SKX, but a new 5 model. This is not the first time that Seiko has taken a well-known design and used it on one of its, let's say, lesser watches in the Seiko 5 Sports line. So a quick look on Amazon will give you, or I found at least 3 models which would, let's say, have a similar design to other well-known Seiko models. So, for example, the Seiko SRP481 is very reminiscent of a Monster. Then the Seiko 5 bottle cap, in my eyes, looks very similar to a Seiko tuner. And then we move to the Seiko SRPC51, which again looks very reminiscent of a Seiko Samurai. All of these watches come with the 4R36 movement, exactly the same as the new Seiko 5. And all of them have 100 meters of water resistance, even though they're supposed to be dive style watches. Again, the same as the Seiko 5 Sports. Furthermore, the price is very, very similar as well. So the SRP 481 at the moment not retails, but is available on Amazon for £200. The Seiko 5 bottle cap for around £240, and the SRPC 51 for around £230. Again, all of these prices are higher than what I've paid for mine, for this particular one. I'll just come out and say I paid £150, so I got a very good deal on it. But again, it just shows that having a, let's say, well-known design in one of the lesser watches at this price point and with these specs is not unusual for Seiko. And with all of this taken into account, I think the reintroduction of the Seiko 5 line makes a lot of sense, and it caters for let's say a different generation of let's say watch enthusiasts, due to the number of models that it offers and the number of styles and combinations of colors and dials and so on. And I think it will do what the Seiko 5 branding has done for the last 50 years, namely introduce, let's say, the younger generation to the world of automatic watches. When it comes to the watch itself, I found it to be of very good quality. The strap itself is very malleable and quite soft. However, I did find that I don't really like rubber straps, it turns out, because once you put it on, it tends to not move at all. So the skin doesn't really breathe and it becomes uncomfortable after a while. So I tried it with various straps. I had a number of 22 millimeter straps available. So this Christopher Ward kind of vintagey strap worked well, I thought, but again, it's not really in keeping with a dive style watch, let's say. Then I tried it on a green NATO. I think this one's from Steinhardt, but this was more in keeping with a dive style watch. However, yeah, I'm not a big fan of NATOs either, to be honest with you. I find them a bit cumbersome. My favorite was actually the this, or not this specific one, but a bracelet. This particular one is from Gikota. It's called the Vintage Berwick. It's kind of a vintagey rivet style bracelet with straight end links. So once I've put this on the watch, I found that it worked very well. So yeah, I'll put it on for you guys. Always fun to try to assemble a bracelet. I found that the tolerancing on the case is very tight, so this particular bracelet barely fits in. You have to kind of push it in. Is that the correct orientation? Yes. And the other one. One funny thing that I noticed is that the spring bars that Seiko provided can only be taken out through the drill lugs, so there's no feature that would enable you to take it out with the spring bar remover, and I think it's finally in. Yeah. Another thing that I noticed about the watch that kind of compromises its wearability a bit is the fact that the crown guard is really sharp. So I'm not really sure if this will come out on camera, but this particular feature here is extremely sharp, and when wearing it for long periods of time, and if the watch doesn't or stays in the same position, and these points always contact your skin in the same position, it becomes really quite uncomfortable to wear. But with the addition of the bracelet, I found that its wearability was much improved, let's say. So I'll try it on. So yeah, Gikota bracelets, relatively good quality. kind of on par with strap code, but obviously just with straight end links. So as I said, much improved wearability, and I really preferred the look of the watch on a bracelet. So to sum up, I think this is a relatively good buy. It's the perfect everyday, let's say, I hate the word, but beta watch. It's in line with, as I've said, with other Seiko 5 sports models, both in terms of price and specs. It looks very good. It's very well finished. I don't really see any downsides, to be honest with you, especially if you can get it as I did at under retail price. And a quick look on Amazon will show you that the prices have gone down, and you can find them for as much as 20 or even more % off. So at that price, you can't really go wrong. So yeah, all in all, I would recommend the Seiko 5 Sports. Thank you very much.